Hey everyone, Felipe here. Welcome to another Tower of Saviors videos. I'm back with another installment of the Blind GNN review. This time we're going to have a power release. So as I expected, the new three Digimon or two Digimon jackpot cards. So uh, Greymon and Garurumon will have their warp evolutions, which I thought would be a power release. So we have the news here. I have not taken a look at it, but based on the artwork, I already know there's a warp evolution. So let's go ahead and take a look at it and see what we have in store for this week. Hey, so power release and branch evolution. Interesting. Of Diamond, Seal rare characters, Ultimate Lord, Piedmon, and Horror Mission of Puppetmon. Oh, interesting. I thought for the chain battles we would have all four of them, but it seems like chain battles might only be Metal Seadramon, and then Piedmon is going to be Ultimate Lord, which makes sense, and Horror Mission Puppetmon. So that means Machine Dramon is also remaining. So we'll take a look at that when it comes out. So let's go. Power release and branch evolution of Digimon that. Ooh. Okay, so yeah. Metal Garurumon, War Greymon, and we have Angemon with Magna Angemon. I was wondering why the artwork for the original TK and Hikari was only Angemon and didn't have Magna Angemon, but now he's here, so that is exciting. Nice. Rare characters will be able to power release. 8 Dolons. 8 Dolons, okay. And then we'll also reveal a new branch evolution, which can be transformed back to Patamon and Hikari. Oh, interesting. That is actually pretty good, because that means you don't need... You might still want 2 copies, but if you can transform them back and forth, that means you don't really need to worry about having 2 copies, and you can just keep one and switch them whether you need them as a leader or do you want to have as a member or something like that. So that is going to be good. For Taichi and Agumon, we have their power released into War Greymon. And let's see, we have leader skill. When the team has only Digidestin and Dragon members, team attack increases by 8 times, HP times 1.8. Digidestin members times 1.3 additionally. Runestone movement time increases by 1.5 seconds. Dissolving 2 groups of fire runes, team attack increases by 1.5. By dissolving race runes, team attack times 3. Damage dealt to beast and dragon members increases by 2 times additionally. So, all in all, it seems like it's going to be an upgraded version of Tai's and Agumon's normal leader skill. We still have the same condition, makes sense. If you don't run Digidestins or Dragon members, you're not going to be benefit from any of this, so make sure that your team only has Digidestins and Dragon members. Everything seems pretty good. Everything is just a regular stat boost, so a lot of HP, attack increase, runestone movement time increase, and more damage output increase. The 6th one is going to be very situational, depending on the enemies in the stage. So I wouldn't count on this thing unless the stage is tailored with only beasts and dragons. This one will just be a small bonus if it happens that the enemy ends up being a dragon or a beast card. Race runes, this one's pretty easy to control, and 2 groups of fire runes. Depending on the team's skill, it might be easy to hit. Or if you have Runestone Drought, it might be a little bit harder to get. But if you're running Javanor, this is going to be super easy. So you can benefit from this 1.5 all the time if you bring Javanor in the team. So now let's take a look at the team skill. The artwork is nice. You can kind of see the crest in the back of the sun. Valor or the courage crest back there, and then the attack. Oof, yeah, this is nice. This is a nice artwork. I'm happy. Anyways, team skill. Leader is War Greymon and the ally is a Digidestin. So again, no need for dual leader and ally. You can run War Greymon with another Digidestin and you could potentially get something else in here. Granted, you don't want to run. Yeah, no. So yeah, you can run dual. You don't have to run dual leader and ally, but might as well, since if you're satisfying the condition, you can also benefit from a second Water Greymon in the ally slot. But there's an option of not running dual leader and ally. Fire and Heart runestones possess the effect of Digidestined attributes. Burning is nullified, yes. Recover HP, this stays the same. This stays the same. For every raised runes, War Greymon launches an extra fire attack to the max of 5 extra attacks, yeah. Turn the runestones into enchanted fire dragon runes under War Greymon, which is good because if you're running dual leader and ally, you get 2 columns and that satisfies your 2 groups of fire runes or more. So that's going to be really good. Dissolving 6 groups of runestones in the first batch. Damage dealt regardless of fixed combo shield. And skill CDs of Digidestins -1. That is pretty good. That is really good. And the reason I think it's really good is, one, because this is not hard to do. That's just an initial batch combo of 6. And in my opinion, 6 is a really easy combo to hit in the game. And so this is going to be super easy to hit. And then you also have the Digivice effects that also lowers your skill cooldowns by 1, which is pretty good. So you'll be able to activate your active skills really quickly. Greymon or Tai Chi and Agumon were CD4, so that's already a -2 cooldown with both Digivice and this team skill. So in 2 rounds, if you satisfy both conditions, you can activate the skill over and over again, and it's going to be pretty powerful as well. Leader is War Greymon, Metal Garurumon, Magnanjumon. Okay, basically, if your leader is either of these members, you get a 1.5 increase to HP attack and recovery. Just a stat boosting effect for Digidestined members. Not bad. And then Digivice, yeah, so CD members -1, member launches extra attacks. I also noticed craft spam is not going to be that good because all of the custom dragonware for the Digidestined members do not charge with launching attacks. They only charge with dissolving runes in the first batch. So craft spam is less viable because you don't charge your skill effects, or you don't charge your craft via number of attacks launched, which it's a trade-off if you want to include launching attack crafts other than the dragonware, but I still think the dragonware is a better option on the Digidestined. So there's that. Okay, active skill. CD7 active skill. Aww, boo. Okay. So deal a fire damage of 20 million to all enemies regardless of defense. Tap 3 bros to explode him to generate enchanted dragon, heart runes, fire runes, and heart runes. On the left and on the right, you get this configuration. Okay, so you tap 3 rows, which means you're going to end up with a group of 9 heart runes, or 3 heart runes, 3 fire runes, 3 heart runes, 3 fire runes, 3 heart runes, 3 fire runes. Since you're exploding them, and then you end up with that configuration for each row, which means you get 3 of each. That's going to give you 6 combos, also give you more than 2 groups of fire runes, so basically it's going to play really well to War Greymon's leader and team skill. Damage will be dealt regardless of duet, trio, quartet, and quintet elemental shield. That is amazing. One of the bigger problems that I had with Tai and Agumon was that they didn't have that much utility in their team. So being able to break duet, trio, quartet, and quintet elemental shield is going to be really beneficial, especially because Wargreymon focuses on generating a lot of fire runes. And so there's a chance that you might not have the required attributes to break these shields, especially since the active skill explodes 3 rows and only generates heart and fire runes. And chances are you're going to nuke your entire board of all other elements. And so if you can ignore those 4 types of shields, you don't have to worry about having the right elements in the board. Damage received from enemies counterattack minus 100%. Very situational, but nice to have. If you play well, you shouldn't get counterattacked unless the enemy has like a tumbler skill where no matter what it will counterattack you. So that's nice. But yeah, bonding skill, Metal Garurumon, Magna Angemon, and Angemon. So yeah, if you have the power release, you get the bonding skills, which again, they're just nice to have. They're not super broken. And you only have to own them, you don't have to have dual max. That being said, because you need to power release or evolve them, it might require a little bit more resources. So you're not missing out on too much if you don't have this bonding skill. But yeah, overall, Wargreymon, let's see. I do think he's a good leader. I think it would have been nice if this effect here, also included Tai and Agumon. Because one of the good things about Tai and Agumon is that their team skill, if you have duplicates of Tai and Agumon, every single Tai and Agumon will launch extra attacks. This also works the same way, where every single Wargreymon in your team will launch extra attacks. So if you have a team of 6 Wargreymons, then every Wargreymon is going to launch 5 extra attacks. Being said, if you want more than 1 Wargreymon, that means you have to power release more than 1 Tai, and then that's a lot of resources because you need to spend those resources in getting the Eidolons and also just power releasing all of them, which could be rough, especially if you need to get more than 1 Tai and Agumon. But yeah, if this one had also included Tai and Agumon on this team skill, I think that would be amazing. But I still think he's a pretty good leader. His multipliers are higher than his base form, which is good. His skill cooldown is going to be longer than his base form, so you might still want to bring a Tai and Agumon in your team for Wargreymon, because that is still going to be really useful to have the Tornado, and also a CD4 skill that generates fire runes. But yeah, overall, not a bad leader. I do think it's a little bit... I expected a little bit more, you know? Usually when collaboration cards, like 1% jackpot cards, get a power release, they tend to become really broken. But in this one, it might be a little bit, I don't know. It feels like a normal power release. Like, yes, it has improvements, it's stronger, but it's not as broken as I thought it would be. Because, I mean, Warp Evolution was the oomph. You would only Warp Evolution to and deal with the strongest enemies and things like that. So, yeah. Anyways, especially for the 1% power release, right? It just feels a little bit underwhelming. But that's just me. Like, it's still good, don't get me wrong, but I expected more. Maybe. But yeah, let's move on to Yamato and Gabumon, which will Warp Evolve to Metal Garurumon. Which is, the episode when they evolved, it was so good. With the whole, the trash can dudes and freezing them. That was amazing. Also, again, the artwork is really good. I just noticed they're like the sun and the moon. Which makes really a lot of sense because they're like opposites and things like that. Oh. Yeah, so like Wargreymon has a sun on the back, Metal Garurumon has the moon in the back. Also, you have the crest of friendship there. Oh, anyways, oof. Okay, I'm excited. I had a toy for Metal Garurumon when I was little. It was like it was Gabumon, and then you could just like move it around, and then it became Metal Garurumon. Anyways, yeah, leader skill. Same thing, same condition. Digidestin or Beast members. Same team attack. Or increase team attack to 7.5 and increase HP and recovery. You get a Daji-like effect where 200% attack bonus is included for every combo made, which if he keeps his 2 dissolve is going to be good because that means you do a lot of combos. Runestone movement time increases by 1.5, and by dissolving water or heart runes, each member launches an extra attack. Just extra damage. Pretty good. For team skill, we have same thing. Leader is Yamato, Ishida, or Metal Garurumon. Oh, so basically your team skill stays the same. Waterheart, yeah, same thing. Same thing. Or actually, I think this is different. Or same thing. Yeah, that's the same. Laser trap or a shot position. Water, so yeah, 2 dissolve. Okay, same thing. Same thing, and then turn the, yeah. So basically his team skill stays the same, which is not bad, especially because now you have this attack bonus of 200% for each combo made, which means that you will be dealing more damage, especially because of the 2 dissolve. The 2 dissolve is going to give you more combos, and that means more attack bonus. But overall, his team skill remains pretty much unchanged, which is good. Actually, it's nice, but I would have expected the team skill to change a little bit more to make it more powerful. Maybe water and heart rules can be dissolved by aligning 2 or more, period. So not first batch only. That would have been amazing for a power release. But, you know, they didn't. Yeah, I think that if this was not first batch, Yamato and Metal Garurumon will be really good leaders, in my opinion. Because the 2 dissolve is very useful when it's not just the first batch. Because if the sky drops can also 2 dissolve, that gives you more combos, more damage, and better damage output. Meanwhile, first batch is just first batch and it doesn't give you that much. And if you have anti-runestone shield, it gives you a trouble to build your board because it's easier to accidentally dissolve water and heart runes because of the 2 dissolve. But even if you stack them, if you don't stack them as a normal board, then you will have a problem because if you only get a group of 2 water runes, they will not dissolve. So yeah, stacking becomes a little bit harder if it's only first batch. So in my opinion, I would have made this team skill become not first batch for the power release. Yeah, kind of sad that the team skill stays the same, especially because you are power releasing the card and it's supposed to be stronger. Okay, so we have something extra. Runestone, what? Oh, it's the same. Well, I guess it's not the same thing. Runestone movement will not be stopped and damage can be dealt when a spot laser trap is touched. That's weird. I mean, again, I do feel they should have made an improved team skill for Metal Garurumon. Okay, for context, I'm reading the second part of this team skill and I'm very confused. But basically, make this team skill different and just make it an upgraded version of what you had before. Change this into this, right? And What is this? Hold up. Like, water and heart runes can be dissolved by aligning 2 or more in the first patch. Isn't this just this? I don't know. Oh, I don't understand. Why would you make a different team skill slot here if... Anyways, I'm just gonna say maybe it's a mistake, a typo. Maybe this should not be here. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense why they would add a completely new section of it. But if it is, then that means that what I was saying is true, and you can get more than 2 dissolve more than just the first patch, and that would make him really useful. This one, the only difference is that damage can be dealt, which normally laser trap doesn't nullify your damage, but there are some enemies that can. Some laser traps will just stop your movement and that's it. Some laser traps will also nullify your attack, but it is pretty situational that happens. So, I mean, it's nice to have, yes, because you don't have to worry about the enemies that do. But again, I feel like you could have added something else and something more to the team skill. Okay, so stat boost, Digivice, cool. Next, we have active skill, CD8, freeze all enemies. Okay, that's good. In the past, Gabumon would be Ignite, but it makes sense because Metal Garurumon ends up being more Ice type in the end. So freeze all enemies, nice. Inactivate them, nice. Change their attribute into water. Okay, not bad. Deal a water damage each round. Okay. Explode all runestones, which is good. Generate beast runes, also good. And for 1 round, water and heart can be dissolved singly or in groups of 2 or more in the first patch. So basically, small upgrade to his kit when you do this. Be careful of activating this skill with anti-runestone shield because there's nowhere to hide. Everything will be dissolved, and so if the enemy has an anti-runestone shield, that's going to nullify your attack. So, and it would be a waste of your active skill, and you would have to wait 8 rounds again. I do think CD8 is a little bit long, but given that it's a control skill, and control skills are usually CD8, I think that's fine, honestly. Alter the attributes into water, also good, especially for the attribute puzzle shields, which could be good. Explode all runestones, I think that's really amazing. To generate beast runes, you will deal more damage, but it's not guaranteed what you're gonna get, especially because you don't have runestone possession effect. So if you get unlucky and you don't get water or heart runes, then your damage is going to suffer quite a bit, even if you can do single dissolves, right? Say if you only end up with 3 water runes and 2 heart runes, that's like not that much attacking runes. And so even if you can dissolve them singly, it's not going to give you that much damage if you don't have runestone possession effect for the other attributes. Yeah, everything is just water and heart. So honestly, I feel like this one should have a clause of increase the appearance of water runes to make it so that you can have a decent chance of getting attacking runes. Just like, for example, like Chesia explodes everything and gives you a higher chance of getting fire runes. So things like that. That would have been nice. But yeah, bonding skill, same thing. Overall, I think it's a small upgrade. Again, I think for a power release card, it could have been stronger. Part of me feels that the power release was done just for the aesthetic of having the warp evolutions in the game, because from a gameplay standpoint and from a strength standpoint, it doesn't seem like they're that much stronger than the base forms, you know? basically same leader skill, which it's usually that, but they usually come with more utility in their team. Like usually team skills get improved, but it doesn't seem like we got too many improvements to them. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm super excited that they're in the game, and I'm definitely getting one of each. It's just that it feels like it's missing something. It's missing that like oomph of the power release, you know? Anyways, let's move on to Magna Angemon and Angewomon, which is going to be a branched evolution. But yeah, so branched evolution, and then they will be able to turn back as well. So let's see, leader skill, team attack times 8, nice. So it's going to be like the meta, like the top part of the meta right now. HP and recovery 1.8, still same effect or same condition. So light members, gods, and Digidestin. So he's still very flexible. Extend runestone movement time by 2 seconds. 3 types of runestones, team attack increases by 3.5, and damage received goes down to -40. We do lose the demon effect, but I think that's fine. Team skill leader is Magna Angemon and Angewomon. So light runes possess 50% effect of hard runes, same thing. Sticky is nullified. Runestones to be droppable, yes, that I noticed with the... That is still the same though. Takeru and Hikari still had this effect as well, where after the first initial sky drop, everything else would also fall down neatly, and you could get an additional 2 or 3 extra combos from that. Actually, this is just the same, really. Same team skill here, and same team skill. Huh? Okay. Okay, you still get 2 active skills, which I would have been sad if you only got 1. Active skill 1, Heaven's Gate. Okay, turn dark into light. Explode non-light. Okay, cool. So for 2 rounds, character's attack increases by 6 times. Damage will be dealt regardless of duet, trio, quintet, quartet, and defense. Actually, this is a really good skill. This is a good skill. And I say it's a good skill because it will be good for the future. If you want to add this as a team member for future teams, you get a self-attack increase of times 6 for 2 rounds, and you also ignore defense, ignore all the elemental shields, so that's going to be good. For the second one, explode all non-light runes to generate enchanted runestones. You launch 7 extra attacks, and the skill stays in play if the enemy is defeated. Wow, that's not bad. I mean, that's a nice buff to have. Again, I think it is also going to be good for a member in other teams in the future, because you get to launch a lot of extra attacks and you get to keep the skill in play, which is not bad, honestly. Especially if you have a future Light God team, I think it's going to be really good. For example, when they buff Supreme Reckoning Greek teams, this could be a really good member to have, because you just launch super, a lot of extra attacks, you have a continuous skill, and you deal a lot of damage. That being said, in terms of the leader skill, I think you just slap a couple more damage multipliers or higher damage multipliers, but the team skill stays the same. And it's an evolution, right? It should have more. Like, give me more. Like, they're supposed to be really, really good, right? They're supposed to be ultimate evolutions. I don't know, man. Yeah. I mean, the artwork is really cool. The arrow is great. You have the blade. But in terms of gameplay, ooh, that's the gate. Yeah, that's the gate you form. But yeah, in terms of like leader skill and team skill, it feels like it's lacking something. It feels like you could have made it better. You could have made it stronger. I don't know. It feels like it's missing. It's missing something. Like it doesn't have the oomph, like I said. I don't know. It's still cool to see them in the game. And I really like the artwork and the I don't know. But in terms of skills, I feel like they're missing something. Oh well. Same thing. Bonding skill, just extra stuff. Ultimate stage, Clown of Hell. So we have our first ultimate stage boss, which is going to be Piedmon. Fire Demon card makes sense. Actually, makes a lot of sense. Color scheme and skills alike. We have Trump Sword CD6. For 1 round, Fire, Dark, and Heart runes possess the effect of each other. Character's attack increases by 4 times. Damage will be dealt regardless of defense. And for each group of attributed runestones, extra fire attack to the max of 4 extra attacks. Not bad. There are a lot of replacements in the game for skills like this one. Times 4 is not, it's a good self-attack increase. But in terms of like teams that you can run this with, you can run him in a like mono demon. It would be good in an Abaddon team, honestly. Especially if you have the effect where you have the most dark runes on the board, this could give you a lot of attacking runes. Actually, it doesn't matter. But yeah, you can run him in an Abaddon team. You can run him in an Inkten team. Monofire as well. So honestly, he can fit in many teams, but his effect doesn't give you that much utility. So there are a lot of other cards that can do pretty much the same thing as him. So if you struggle with his ultimate stage or you don't get him, that's fine in my opinion. You do have a bonding skill where basically it's going to be... Oh, actually, all the 4 Dark Masters have bonding skills. So that's just nice bonuses. Yeah, all these bonding skills require you to dissolve the character runes or trigger the character runes. So yeah, we'll see. Horror Mission, Puppetmon. Horror cards are usually not that great, but let's see. Okay, CD6. Fire Machina card, not bad. Explode 10 runes at fixed positions in the shape of an X, which makes sense because he has an X on his back. That makes sense. He's also fire. His artwork suggests that he's fire too. Generate enchanted fire and enchanted earth runes. For 1 round, fire and earth possess the effect of each other. Not bad. Attack times 2. Damage dealt regardless of fixed combo shield. If you dissolve all fire and earth runes in the first batch, skill CD -4 at the end of the round. Actually, it's not a bad skill. The fact that you can activate this at CD2, given that you get a -4 CD reduction, it's not bad. The only thing is like, yes, you can keep activating it, but what do you get from it? You don't really get that much. You get a ×2 attack bonus, but just for Puppetmon, which honestly, it's a nice attack boost, but it's not super significant. For example, like Shy Plant has something similar where it has a skill cooldown of -5 if your HP is above 50%. 1, the condition is easier to hit, as opposed to dissolving all fire and all earth. Okay, actually no, the condition is easy because it's all fire or all earth. So that's okay. But you don't get a -5, you get a -4, so you still have to wait a turn. And as opposed to Shaiplan, where it's a team attack of ×2, this is just a single monster attack ×2, which it's nice, but it's not good. So honestly, you can run him in the Machina team, it's not bad, but I do feel like there's better support cards, attack booster cards in the game where you can replace him. I think the cards are not bad, but they're also not super good, if that makes sense. Same thing, bonding skills, cha-cha-chan. Ooh, event mission. I did not expect you to be here. Nice, Lady Devimon. Ooh, that's a surprise. Like, we knew the 4 Dark Masters were coming, right? Last GNN, they had the preview where the 4 Dark Masters were going to be part of the game. I knew that the power release was going to happen because one of the team skill sets Metal Garurumon in the past, so you could expect the power release from that. This one was a surprise. I thought it would be a power release too, but I guess it's just a branched evolution. But Lady Devimon, that's a surprise for me actually. Didn't expect that to be in the game. But yeah, CD8, Dark Demon card, color scheme, attributes all make sense. Venom all enemies for 2 rounds and lower their attack to 0. Nice. Actually, very nice. Wait. No, freaking, I think... No. Here's the thing though. Yeah, Venom is really good to have because it's not that common in the game. But it's not common, but Mastema, let's see, Mastema is also Dark Demon and also Venoms, and the cooldown is shorter, so you also refresh the protective shield if you have one. Actually, yeah, Venom is good because there are less than 10 cards in the game that can Venom, which is once Mad Hit starts adding more Venom shields, it's going to be very useful to have. But if you already have Supreme Reckoning Mastema, you already have a Dark Demon card that can Venom, so there's no need to invest resources in her. But I will still get her because it's a collaboration card. And you can also lower their attack to 0, which means that for 2 rounds you can dodge the enemy attack because they will not deal damage to you. Deal a non-attribute damage to each enemy, so this also will break Stealth Shield. But CD8, it's going to be a little bit slow. And that's it. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. So I think this GNN was interesting. A little bit less hype than the last one because I kind of got spoiled. I already knew we were going to get power release, so I wasn't super surprised when I saw the power release. But also, I think the skills themselves are a little bit underpowered, and I was expecting them to be a little bit more broken. In terms of the villains, they're very nice too. They have good effects, but they're not super necessary to farm to dual max in my opinion. I mean, I'm a big Digimon fan, I'm still going to get everything. But if you need to save resources, I'd say just get them in your inventory and for the index and just to have them. But they're not must-haves for these guys. So like this guy, Piedmon, Puppetmon, and Lady Devimon, just get them in your inventory. I'd say probably level up Lady Devimon because she is potentially going to be useful. Puppetmon could be useful, but there's better Machina cards in the game. Piedmon, same thing, could be useful, but there's also better fire demons in the game already. So if you don't have a lot of inventory variety, they're nice to have. But if you already do have a large inventory, just get them for the index and for the fact to have them because they might not return. But overall, in terms of utility, there's other cards that can replace them really easily. Yeah. Then in terms of the power release and the branched evolution, honestly, if I'm completely honest, I'm just slightly disappointed because I feel like they should have been stronger. They should have had like more oomph. They don't really feel like a power release. And I feel like they should have had something more, if that makes sense. I do know that Mad Hatter was planning on releasing some buffs for the Digidestined characters. I don't know if that only applies to their base forms or if it also includes their power release forms. Hopefully it does include the power release form because I do feel like they need something more. But we'll have to see. Yeah, I don't really. Yeah, I feel a little bit disappointed in terms of the skills. Artwork and the fact that they're in the game, super happy about that. But playstyle and skills, yes, they're stronger, but I did feel that we might have. I feel like it should have been stronger, in my opinion. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I hope you enjoyed this installment of a blind GNN review. And as always, stay tuned on my YouTube channel for more Tower of Saviors content. I will be posting card reviews after the skill adjustments or buffs come out, if they come out. So keep your eyes open for that. But for now, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye everyone!